What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm the Late Night Frights horror leader, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Last week we did horror battles, and if you haven't checked it out yet, please go do so. It was a great week overall. Some really good horror films were battled. And so doing horror battles last week, this week we are doing a theme. And the theme we chose to do for you is one that we have done before here on Late Night Frights, and we've done it many years ago, and it was our St. Patrick's Day of Horror theme, and we're doing it for this year of 2015, and we thought it would be cool, since St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, for each of us here on Late Night Frights to review a film from the Leprechaun franchise, which everyone knows there's some good films within the franchise, some ones that I really love personally, and then there's some really bad ones. So thankfully, the one that I'm reviewing is, kickstarting the week, the original and the best in my mind, and it is the original film from 1993, Leprechaun. Okay, so like I said, Leprechaun was made in 1993. It was directed by Mark Jones, starring Warwick Davis, Jennifer Aniston, Ken Olant, Mark Colton, and Robert Hy Gorman. Now I'm going to go ahead and dive into the review. I'm going to review the plot very briefly. I don't want to spoil anything, just in case someone hasn't seen it. But I do believe everyone watching this channel, every horror fan, has seen Leprechaun by now, or you should have. If you haven't, definitely pick it up. But it's a classic, and I will explain why it is a classic to me, and why I like it so much, and why I always have since I was a kid. So I'm going to dive into the plot. I'm not going to give many. I'm going to try to do this without giving as few spoilers away as possible. You guys know here on Late Night Frights, we don't like to give spoilers if we can help it. So yeah, the beginning of the story follows a character named Daniel O'Grady, I believe his name is, who returns home to his wife after a trip to Ireland. Now, when he comes home to his wife, he tells her, he says, "Listen, I have captured a leprechaun. I've got the leprechaun's gold." Of course, she thinks he's gone crazy. He's a little bit nuts until he actually shows her the gold. And then she believes him, and they both think they're rich. Oh, life's going to be so great. But what they don't know is that the leprechaun is actually evil, and he will do whatever it takes, including killing, to get his gold back. The leprechaun breaks free and pretty much kills Daniel O'Grady's wife. And Daniel O'Grady knows he's an evil curse and he has to be stopped. So he takes the leprechaun, puts him in a wooden crate, and in this wooden crate he nails it shut and puts a 4-leaf clover on top, which we all know is the leprechaun's weakness. So he does this, and he has an intention to kill the leprechaun, to set the house on fire and burn this horrible creature. While he's doing it, he has a heart attack. The leprechaun is stuck in this house, in this box, with no way out because he has a 4-leaf clover on top of the box, and he's pretty much stuck. So we skip years later to where we see Jennifer Aniston's character, which I believe her name is Tori. And Tori is, coming with her father on this, what seems to be a summer vacation. He's just bought a new house, and he's wanting to fix it up and, remodel it and do everything new to it. She doesn't really like it. She's a city girl. She doesn't want to leave the city. She wants to stay with her mom, I believe it is, and she wants to stay inside the city and continue life as she always lives it. But he talks her into it, and she kind of feels obligated to do it since it is her father. She gets there. She hates it right off the bat. Doesn't like it at all. The bugs, everything within it, she just doesn't like it. He hires a couple painting guys to come over and paint the house and help him out around there and do some repairs. One of the painting guys is played by Mark Colton, I believe his name is. I believe that's the guy's name. He also played in Teen Wolf. He's been in a lot of things. And he's kind of a slower guy. He's a really nice guy in the film. He's just, slower. He goes down in the basement where the leprechaun still remains, and he takes the 4-leaf clover off the box. Now, in doing this, he just unleashed hell pretty much, because the leprechaun wants his gold. He wants to find out who has it, and he will stop at nothing to find out who has his gold. And that is the basic plot of the film. I don't want to go any further into it and explain what happens to the characters, because I don't want to spoil all that. That's the basic plot. It's a very interesting plot. It's a concept, it's a story that as a writer, as a writer, me personally, I would think it'd be really cool to write. But, pitching it as an idea to a production company, that had to have been a disaster. It was made in 1993, so Horror at this point really had already hit its peak, and it was slowly it was starting to slow down a little bit. But then you have Leprechaun that hits, comes out of the gates in '93, and to me, I put it right next to Child's Play. I love Child's Play. It's an absolute classic, but I love Leprechaun just as much, if not more. Warwick Davis, who plays Leprechaun, he just did the best job. I mean, he is Leprechaun. He owns that character. There's nobody else that can play him, especially not Hornswoggle in the Leprechaun Origins, which I have yet to see. I don't really want to. But Warwick Davis just made that character his own. And Jennifer Aniston did a good job as well, playing Tori. And I believe this was her first feature film. I'm not sure, but I think it was. And everything within this film, it's dark. It's got a creepy tone to it. It has very few comedic aspects, but the ones that it does have, they blend in very well with the story. When I think of Child's Play, I think of Leprechaun. When I think of Leprechaun, I think of Child's Play, and in many different ways. One way being that both of these films took themselves completely seriously. I mean, of course, there were a few comedic elements in both, but really they made you think that this could happen. Leprechaun made you think that a leprechaun could exist, and Child's Play made you think that a doll could come to life. They gave you that vibe that this is real, these people are trying to deal with it, not that, oh, it's all fun and games, and they didn't make fun of themselves, I guess I should say, which later sequels in both franchises did. But Leprechaun, to me, great cast, great acting, great directing. The writer and director, I give him props for going with a story like this and also pitching it to a production company. Would have been a harder task, I can imagine, to pitch that at a table and say, oh, well, Leprechaun's going to kill people. But it's a very interesting plot. Everything about it I love. I always have since I was a kid. I actually saw this, I believe, before I saw Child's Play as a child. So it's always held a close spot in my heart, and actually I like Leprechaun, or I love the original Leprechaun. I like Leprechaun 2, and I love Leprechaun 3. After that, they kind of get shitty. I'll just say that, for lack of a better word, shitty. But everything about the original works, and it works well, especially for being made in 1993. And I love this horror film. It's an absolute classic. This is the Leprechaun Complete movie collection, which I would recommend picking up. It's not a bad deal to own all the films on Blu-ray. I've also got them on DVD, but I figured I would show this release instead of the DVD release. But thank you so much for watching. That is my review over the original Leprechaun classic film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow, Chris Brock will be continuing on this Leprechaun franchise review for our St. Patrick's Day of Horror 2015. And then he'll be reviewing Leprechaun 2. Andre will be reviewing Leprechaun 3, and so on and so forth with all of our members until we review all of the films. So, once again, thank you so much for watching. You just watched Late Night Frights. Comment, subscribe, guys. Comment down below. Tell me what you think of the original Leprechaun film, and also, what do you think of the franchise in a whole? Do you like it, love it, hate it? I'm curious to know. And, yeah, I'm the Jay Sloan. Comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.